Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Look Mac Talks. Today, I have a huge pleasure to have here with us Sascha. Sascha is the founder and the musician from the KMFDM. I have to say it slowly because in my Portuguese head, I would change the letters and it won't be okay. But Sasha is the founder of KMFDM, one of the biggest bands in Europe. And it's a huge pleasure to have you here. So, first of all, welcome to our talk, Sasha.
Bom dia. It's a
Wonderful.
pleasure. It's a pleasure for me to speak to you and to be here. And thank you for your time. And Portugal is one of one of the few countries that I'm actually thinking about emigrating to in the very near future because life in Germany is not so good these days. And I just want to be. Yeah, I heard you have these storms and stuff, but you know
Yeah.
what? We've had one storm and another for the past 2 months. So I just want to say, Portugal,
You will be very welcome here, I'm sure, because with the quantity and the amount of fans that you have in our country, I'm sure that it will be a pleasure to welcoming you here.
really. How do you say it? Bem-vindo?
Bem-vindo. Exactly.
Ah,
Exactly, Sasha. You do
okay.
speak Portuguese. Wonderful.
Just
A little bit.
just a little bit.
I would like to ask you because the band didn't begin yesterday and not even 10 or 20 years ago. It began a little bit further in time. And I would like to ask you 1984, city of Hamburg. What what came into your mind to make a project, a music project, in these early years?
Well, the whole beginning of KMFDM is a little bit strange because I was asked by a group of artists like painters, sculptors, and such. They had a opening for an art show in Paris, France, and they asked me, like, could you maybe provide some sort of noise to our opening show? And I said, noise, I can do. You know, that's not a problem. So we chose, well, together with the group, we chose the title or the motto of the day, which was no majority for the pity, a wrong German sentence where the nouns have been swapped. And it kind of became a thing for me to just pursue. And within a very short amount of time, I became really fascinated in studio techniques and recording and so forth. And so this whole performance thing moved over to become a recorded adventure. And then again, it turned from being recorded into a live situation. And that was 42 years ago. So I don't know. I was 21 or 22 years old back then. You know, you do things that you don't think much about, and you don't really, um, you know, I don't know. You just follow your impulses when you're
Yeah, but
young. You know?
but it's an option that changed your life.
Yes, with a lot of coincidence, with a
Yeah.
lot of luck, a lot of just happening to be in the right place at the right time. I mean, I don't take too much credit for anything. I'm just saying, it was a great ride. Like you go on I don't know, on a sort of scooter ride, and you don't know where you end up, you know?
Mm-hmm. The first records they were recorded in Germany, but then you went to America. Why did you went to America? In what, if that change of location did any influence on the sound that you produce after you went to the US?
It wasn't even a choice to go to America.
Mm.
The record company that we signed up with in the UK, they licensed our stuff to Chicago, to Wax Trax Records. And
Exact.
Wax Trax Records asked if KMFDM would be available to open up for ministry.
Wow.
And that to me was like, why would we go to America? You know, what's there for us? I had to go to a bank and I had to get a loan and to buy the plane tickets. And then we finally arrived somehow in Chicago. And it was like, yes, this is the place where things happen, you know, and they happened. So I'm not saying it was just pure luck. It was a lot of hard work,
Hard
a
work,
lot
yeah.
of making very conscious decisions. You know, at some point or another, KMFDM was offered a lot of money to do really stupid things, and I always was like, I don't want to do stupid things. I want to stay true to myself as an artist, right? Which sounds a little bit jaded, but it's not. I mean, you know, I do take things that I do very serious, but I'm not very serious about myself, which means I can make a lot of fun. I can poke fun of myself and be, you know, as they say, self-deprecating and you know, all of that. But money was never the driving force for Kim.
Yeah.
It was always artistic integrity.
Sasha, I have to ask you because America, US are always in the news today. Looking back, do you think it's very different the Chicago and the states that you met then to the states that we are having
Oh,
now?
it's completely different. I mean,
Completely,
you
yeah.
know, Trump is such a, oh my God. I mean, you know, this man, I don't even know where he came from.
Absolutely.
He's a catastrophe.
Yeah.
He's a catastrophe mostly for America, really, because um, Europeans used to love America. You know,
Yeah,
they were our friends in the dark years and during World War II.
absolutely.
Um, you know, I don't know how you guys feel about the Americans in Portugal, but in Germany, we're clearly superly, yeah, superly is not even a word, but we're super
Connected to them.
thankful and
Yeah,
connected. And I
it's the
spent
same.
20 years of my life in America.
Yeah.
I feel like an American almost, you know. And now I'm watching the news and I'm like, oh my God, this is like really terrible. God, Daddy, Billy.
It's almost unbelievable. Sometimes when we see the news in the television, it looks like a Hollywood movie that we are seeing. It's kind of no, this is not real. What the hell is going on there and in the world? Everybody's crazy about that.
I'm afraid it looks a lot like Nazi Germany.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
um,
We also have that feeling here. The same. Sasha, tell me and
well, I
tell
do
me, tell
like
me.
Portugal because since the what was it, the Clove Revolution?
Cravo, cravo.
Yeah, that one. You know, Portugal is a country, a nation that stays out of the news. It's, you know, everything is easygoing. I mean, come on. You know, a couple of decades ago, American television would be just like I don't know, like car salesmen. And the president would show up like a couple of times a year. Now you got this idiot every day, every
Every day,
second.
every second. Yeah,
You wake up in the morning, you're like, oh my God, what's going on? You go to bed at night, oh my God, what's going on?
exactly.
It's like he's taken the breath away from the rest of the world.
Kind of a vampire, sucking
Yeah,
all the
and
energy.
he's a complete idiot.
Absolutely.
He's an imbecile.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there a word for that in Portuguese?
Imbecile. It's very similar. Imbecile.
Imbecile.
Exactly.
Fuck him.
When you went to Chicago, and the band quickly began to be internationally known. We already spoke about Wax Tracks, the label. Um, when did you realize that the band's success will reach a global audience?
No, it wasn't like that.
No, tell
Um,
me.
I realized that we became a household name in the United States,
Mm-hmm.
not so much internationally.
Okay.
The international recognition of KMFDM is still something that has not happened. You know, we're very famous in America. We are known in England, in the United Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
In Hamburg, my hometown, if we would play a show here tonight, I don't know, there would be maybe 20 people, maybe 30.
Really?
Yeah, my friends. You know, nobody knows us here. There's no international acclaim for KMFDM.
Really?
It's, yeah, I mean, KMFDM was, as we more or less jokingly used to say, made in the USSA. Unfortunately, the SSA has become a reality.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think, in a way, KMFDM has, for better or worse, operated for a good number of years ahead of our time. You know, we said our time will come in 2014, which was it was meant as a kudo to the Ukraine and the protests at the Maidan and the cutting down of the Cross of Christ by the Pussy Riot activists. We even made that our record cover. And, you know, now, 12 years later, we're here. Our time has come, has perverted itself in a way that, you know, fascists like Putin and Trump and Orban and a lot of people in right-wing parties in Germany and Austria and post-fascism in Italy have gained power. So, but KMFDM will always be here to remind you to rip the system. Whatever that means, you know.
But in the 19th, tell me if this is true. You had film soundtracks like Mortal Kombat. This is true, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
And
it's
Bad Boys,
Bad
Mortal
Boys,
Kombat.
exactly. So it was global. Maybe the people in Hamburg, they are sleeping about it, but it is global. You know, I'm going to tell you a secret. When I came to the interview, I was speaking to my son. He's a musician also and a sound engineer, and I told him that I was coming to interview, and he told me, "Yeah, mom, I do know them because they made something with Rammstein, and you know." He clicked on his head, and he's 23 years old. So,
Yeah,
Sasha,
yeah,
you're global.
yeah, of course. I mean, you know, there is some sort of common knowledge going around, but
Mm-hmm.
no, I can honestly say in Germany, KMFDM is not very known,
Not very known.
and of course, besides my friends and you know, people I've known for from the beginning from the dawn of time, nobody would come to the show because they would be like, "Hey, who's that?" You know.
Jesus, what
But that's
memories? What memories do you have? Tell me. Sorry.
no, that's cool. We just had to postpone a European tour because
Yeah.
something happened in the health department that needs me to kick back for a couple of months.
Mhm.
And you know, it was a nearly sold out tour everywhere, but in Hamburg. Hamburg
Yep.
is no. And I always used to say uh, the prophet does not mean anything in its own land.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, there must be a saying in Portuguese about that too.
Mm.
The prophet, no, not blah, in the
Yeah,
whole country.
I know. I have. We have a saying.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah, but I can't remember. But he's like being. How is it in his own land? I will remember. I will
Yeah,
tell you. I will tell
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Back in the 19s, when we were talking about Bad Boys and Mortal Kombat, what memories do you have from that era,
From what?
from that period, from the 19s? Was it cool?
The 90s, the 90s were like I moved from Chicago to
Mm-hmm.
Seattle, from Seattle to Chicago, from to New York. I don't know. I mean, I was working all the time. I was doing a ton of um, contract work. I
Mm-hmm.
remixed a lot of bands, Metallica and White Zombie and stuff. I don't know. It's the 90s was I was in my 30s and I didn't know sleep. I didn't know exhaustion. I didn't know food. I was just like work, 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 work. Rabota, as they say in Russian, you know. I was almost like a robot
Yeah.
of myself. And then in the 2000s, I thought like, yeah, so why do I have to work so hard? But I did not find an answer. So I kept working,
You
working,
kept.
working, 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 working. In the 2010s, our daughter was born, and we kept touring, 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 touring. And you know, eventually it just now I'm in my early 60s and I'm like, all right, I'll just put out a new album,
Yeah.
the 24th album in 42 years. Everybody thinks it's well, not everybody, but a lot of people think, this is a pinnacle in KMFDM's history. I'm like, great, just wait. The next album is already in the works.
Why did you call it enemy?
Because I feel that artists like KMFDM and many others have been blacklisted as
Mm.
enemies to the systems. This is not an anti-American record. It's an anti-fascist record. It's against the Putins, the Orbans, the Erdogans, the Melonis, and the Trumps, and the Xi Pings, the Pijings, or whatever his name is.
Do you think it's still important for you to have a voice and to speak through music what you're feeling about these questions?
I think KMFDM speaks to our fans. We
Mm-hmm.
have a lot of fans, and our fan base is it's so varied. I mean, we have very young kids, we have very old people, we have people from the right spectrum of politics, from the left spectrum of politics. And what KMFDM propagates is not hatred towards each other, but understanding.
Exactly.
And the message in KMFDM is open your eyes, think for yourself, don't believe the bullshit, make up your own mind, and act accordingly. That's very simple.
Can I make you a question? Because I think it's very important in nowadays education. Do you think it is important to give good education so the people and the young people can think by themselves?
No, education is work, and you have to
Okay.
be ready. You have to be ready to take your own education on. It's something, it's like going to the gym, to build your muscles
Yeah.
or to build your brain, or maybe both. But it's a responsibility. You cannot expect to be educated by a system, because the system will only educate you in the interests of
Their
that
own.
system.
Yeah.
So, learn history, learn geography, learn politics, learn everything, learn languages, go places, I mean, young people should travel the world.
Absolutely.
When I was, I don't know, 15, I spent 3 months or so in France, in Marseille, and it opened my mind, And I spent 20 years in the United States, and it opened my mind. And people asked me, like, where are you from? I said, I'm from Germany. And they said, is that in Wisconsin?
Sorry, it's very funny.
So,
It's very funny, very funny. What do you think about artificial intelligence?
It's crap. I mean, artificial intelligence, it may be very good if you want, some database to be done or a website. But artistically, in a creative sense, I don't think it can't come anywhere near to what we humans can do.
Yeah.
We have I don't know, we have creativity, fantasy, we can jump between topics, we can make things move crazy. Yesterday, I started to learn how to do samba. I cannot ask artificial intelligence to teach me samba, right?
No, you can't.
It's a feeling. I mean,
yes, it is.
Yeah. So yeah, emotion. Emotion is
Emotion. Yeah.
the driving thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's the driving thing in KMFDM. I mean, there's no ideology in KMFDM. It's liberal to a fault. Basically says everybody's welcome, all walks of life. Just think and don't hate, talk,
Yeah, talk.
And of course, unfortunately, KMFDM has been scooped up in these kind of school shootings and violence and stuff, which is terrible. I mean, for anyone creating to be associated with a tragedy like that, and then every other year copycats would come out and go like, oh yeah, KMFDM. I'm like, these guys don't even know KMFDM. They're just wearing the shirts because it's become a sort of uniform of school shooters, You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's terrible. I mean, what are you gonna do?
Nothing. Keep going.
Right.
Right.
Drink a nice glass of wine at the end of the day and have some good food
Exactly.
and,
And be a good
and
person, right?
yeah,
That's the main thing. Tell
yeah.
me another thing, Sascha. You have now new elements in the band, right?
I'm sorry.
You have new elements, new members in the band.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Can you tell me a little bit about them?
Yeah, we have a new guitarist.
Yeah.
His name is Tidor Niedu. The name gives him up as a Sardinian. And our daughter, Annabella,
Mm-hmm.
she has been writing and recording a lot of stuff recently. And she wrote a song that is featured now on the new KMFDM album called You. And of course, we're very proud of her.
Of
Some
course.
people want to say that, this is nepotism,
God.
which it is not. I mean, she's been a person of the arts ever since. Um, there's, there's nothing that we as parents would not do to encourage her um, on her way, but talent is talent. I mean,
Exactly.
nepotism is nepotism, but
Yeah.
talent speaks for itself. And so, yeah, fuck them
That's pretty.
all.
Fuck them all. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Now you are how many? 5? No, more.
Hmm?
One. How many are you in the band? You,
We're
Annabelle?
five. We're five.
Five. And
Annabella, Lucia,
Lucia,
Andy,
Andy,
Tidor,
Tito,
and
and
myself.
you. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. How do you how is the process, the creative process now at this time of the band's life? How do you decide how to write and how to produce a song? And if the song sounds a little bit more, I don't know, punk or a little bit more rusty, how do you decide everything
Well,
nowadays with the
the
band?
the whole creation process happens in this very room in
Mm,
this studio, and then um, I send ideas around to everybody, and anyone's input is welcome, of course, and so we just we amass a ton of input and then whittle it down to this is the product. I mean, I guess my role in KMFDM is the producer, which means to not stand in the way of everybody's input, but quite the opposite, to facilitate everyone's input, to make it possible. Um, and I never feel precious about the stuff that I do. I'm always like, hey, let's throw it on the plate and bring on whatever ideas you have. Crazy as it might, just please don't hold back.
that's a very pure creative process.
Yes, I think that's the way it should be. I mean, a producer should not have their own ideas put as a stamp on the band, but it should he should or he or she he the producer, she the producer, they should let the band play and express themselves much as they want and facilitate it all to become a recording, uh, a work of art.
Mm. And tell
Like
me a little.
I've worked with producers in the past
Uh-huh.
that were like, no, 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 this is not how that goes. I'm like, whoa, that, you know. I mean, I worked with Rick Rubin and the Spice Girls, and it was horrible. it was just like, no, this cannot go this way, you know. Just because you're an old man with a big beard doesn't mean you're God, you know.
That's important for you to have the band's voice in the lyrics, in the
Of
music
course,
that you
yeah,
play. That's
yeah.
essential.
Everybody has something to say, and I
Yeah,
want everyone to have the chance to say it,
yeah, yeah.
you know.
And how you write the lyrics? How is the process of writing? Is the same process or not?
The process of writing is, I always take snapshots, you know, little sounds, little ideas, little notes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then when I'm sitting in my studio, I don't know, 6 o'clock in the morning, I have some coffee. I'm like, hmm, ah, you know, I hear something and I'm like, you know, yesterday, like I said, I became interested in samba. And so I'm like, okay, how does samba work? This is not something that as a German I would know, you know, but then I was like, I checked out some samba and I was like,
Sascha, you are going to fall in love with samba.
I already did.
Because it's so amusement, it's so beautiful. When it's well played, it's
Yeah,
absolutely fantastic. And you have to go to the beginning of samba for the early years in the 40s and 50s. It's absolutely wonderful.
yeah, no, I'm always open to new horizons, you know. A lot of
Yeah.
people think that KMFDM is industrial rock. We're so much not industrial rock.
And what are KFDM? What
We're
is the
everything.
sound? Everything.
We're dub, we're reggae, we're soul, funk, uh, heavy metal. You know, we're anything we can be at any given time. You know, there's nothing that constricts
Mhm.
KMFDM to be something. We're like the force against the cage. We break out of the norms.
No borders.
No borders, no chains, no prejudice, no nothing, you
No,
know.
nothing. After 40 years of making music, what motivates you to continue to produce music, to be um, a little bit of, I don't know how to say it, provocative, I don't know, a little bit like a rebel? What motivates you to be like this and do music like that?
I don't know. I wake up in the morning and you know, I have a coffee or two and I smoke a cigarette and I go in my studio. I light up the studio and I'm like, all right, let's go, you know. And some days are productive and some days are not. So if after 20 minutes or so I feel like, nah, not a good day today, then I'm gonna, I don't know, I'll do my taxes or something, you know. I do
That's so
chores.
boring.
Or, but mostly they're good days. So,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like like I said, I started like 6 or 7 in the morning and then all of a sudden it's like lunchtime and I'm like, I'm hungry. And what have I done, you know? It's um it's so rewarding to create, you know. I think
Yeah.
sometimes I'm being asked like what drives you, you know, is it an outside force? No, it's the joy of creating. It's the simple, oh man, you know, I made something. I made a little baby of a song and then I'm gonna make it into a mother of 20 new songs, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Imagine that you have, I don't know, a time machine and you could meet with Sascha back then when they asked him to make some noise for that for that friend of yours, what would you say to him after 40 years?
I would say move forward, you know, take me to when I'm 100, 150.
That's
I
wonderful.
never look back. It's back is, you know, back is always troubled, and you know, you have to make decisions that are like, oh, I don't know. Ask me the other way around. Would I do it again? I
Yeah,
would.
you would?
I would, yeah. I
Would you
don't,
change would you change something?
yes, I would never start smoking.
But you can stop.
No.
Sascha, you already told us that you had to stop the tour because of health issues. But I need to ask you, do you intend to come to Portugal play or not?
I really, really want to. I really want to. And we're just making the plan for next year in March.
Okay.
So, you know, I want to. I
You
really
want to.
do.
And what are your expectations concerning the feedback from the fans regarding the album? Or you don't have any expectations?
From the new album?
Yeah.
No, I don't really have expectations. I mean, I don't have expectations because I have nothing to prove, you know?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So, no, I mean, a KMFDM album is like, it's like an audio voyage through an amount of a certain stretch of time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So some people go like, I'm going to go on a sail around the world. And a KMFDM album is kind of like a sail around the world of KMFDM. You know, it's like, yes, we went here and we went there and there and here and there and there and there and there. And then we came back and here's the product, right? So unlike some bands that, you know, take 4 or 5 years to make an album, a KMFDM album is not, in my mind, is not to be viewed as, oh, it's so precious and I want to present to you, you know, the golden egg. It's just like, bam, here you go. Fucking love it or fucking leave it, you know?
Are you a happy man?
I am.
You have the two most important girls, I suppose, near you in your band. Is that
Yes,
important to you?
yes, it is. And we have our little chihuahua, Cookie.
But she doesn't sing.
He's the other guy in the house, you know?
That's
And
so cool.
and you know, the band, I mean, Andy and Tidor and Annabella and Lucia and we are like such good friends, you know? Where sometimes we're like, oh, why do we have to play a show right now? Why can't we just, you know, hang out and have a great evening at a pool or in the ocean or something? It's a real pleasure to be KMFDM, and I would hate to be in a band where, you know, the drummer is the drummer and the guitarist is the guitarist and stuff. We do everything, you know. We can afford to be whatever we want to be, and that's a real beauty. You know,
That's
we're
beautiful.
not a band. We're like a conglomerate of kindred souls. You know what I mean?
Yes, that's beautiful.
Yeah, yeah, it's true.
Sascha, it was a huge pleasure to have you here. I will be expecting for your visit to Portugal so I can give you a kiss, beijinho.
Beijo.
Beijo.
Oh,
And say hello.
I look forward to that.
So we'll be waiting for that. And most of all, congratulations for the person that you are and for the music that you bring us, because I think in these days is so important to have someone speaking like you and putting in words and in music things that we feel in here.
Thank you.
It was absolutely
You
lovely.
put a little tear in my eye.
Oh God.
Hey, if you know any promoters in Portugal that might be interested in getting
Yes,
KMFDM, please let me
absolutely.
know.
Let's hope they are all listening to this interview, and please bring this fabulous man to Portugal.
Thank you.
Sascha, thank you
If
so
you
much.
want to email me, I'm kmfdm@kmfdm.net.
It's a deal. Thank you so much. Bye-bye, Sascha.
Good night.